we have three kinds of karma: bodily karma, verbal karma, and mental karma. So they are included in mental karma. Now, what is the meaning of the word Sila? It may not be interesting to those who are not interested in Pali. But now the word Sila is explained here as meaning composing or upholding. So the word Sila means composing or upholding. Composing what? It is either a coordinating, meaning non-inconsistency of bodily action, etc., due to virtuousness. Now, non-inconsistency really means non-scattering of one's actions. That means if we do bad actions, then our actions are said to be scattered, not coordinated. Yeah, I think scattered is better than inconsistency. Consistent means it must not be different from others or something like that. Huh? You are consistent means you do this thing always. It can be a bad habit. That's right. Yeah, but here it is mean not scattered. Your actions are not scattered when you have Sila. And the other meaning is to uphold, meaning the state of blessing, owing to it serving as foundation for profitable state. Only when you have Sila can you have wholesome mental state. So Sila is something like uphold. So these are the two meanings of Sila. For those who understand etymology, that means grammarians, admit only these two meanings. Others, however, comment on the meaning here in the way beginning. The meaning of virtue is the meaning of head, Sila. The meaning of virtue is the meaning of cool, Sidala, that is playing upon the word. The Pali word Sila is close to the word Sira and also close to the word Sidala. So they may explain it in this way. But it is not accepted by the commentator here. And what are the characteristics, function, manifestation, and proximate cause of Sila? I think you are familiar with the characteristics and so on. Whenever we have to understand something, we have to understand that by way of characteristic and so on. Only then do you understand this thoroughly. And especially when you practice meditation, you come to understand things sometimes by characteristic. That means you see the characteristic of it sometimes. Sometimes you see the function, sometimes you see manifestation, and sometimes you see proximate cause. So, with reference to these four, we have to understand things. So, Sila is also to be understood in these four aspects. So, what is its characteristic? That means what is its individual essence or its nature? So, the characteristic of it is just composing, the same as the one I mentioned above. Just as visibleness is the characteristic of the visible database, even when analyzed into the various categories of blue, yellow, etc., because even when analyzed into these categories, it does not exceed visibleness. So also this same composing described above as the coordinating of bodily action, etc., and as a foundation of profitable state is the characteristic of virtue, even when analyzed into the various categories of volition, etc. Because even when analyzed into these categories, it does not exceed the state of coordination and foundation. Now, visible database means just the visible object. Among the 28 material properties, there is one thing which can be seen, and that is the only thing which can be seen by our eye, and that is translated as form or visible object. Now, that visible object, the characteristic of that visible object is just visibleness, that it can be seen. So that is its characteristic. Although we can say that visible object is blue, yellow, red, white, and so on. They may differ in this aspect, but according to characteristics, they are only one. They are only one visible data, which is the characteristic of visibleness. So in the same way, we may describe Sila as Chetana is Sila, Chetasikas are Sila, restraint is Sila, non-transgression is Sila. But however, very different kinds of Sila may be, the characteristic, the common nature of all different kinds of Sila is just composing. So it is the characteristic of composing. And then, what is its function? Now here, the word function or the Pali word rasa has two meanings. One is action or function, and the other is achievement. Sometimes the function as action is used, and sometimes function as achievement is used. But here, both are mentioned. So what is the function of Sila? Stopping misconduct. It is its function. So when you have Sila, you do not break precepts, and so you do not do misconduct. So stopping misconduct is its function as its nature, and blamelessness is its function as achievement. That means when you achieve purity of Sila, then you are blameless. So blamelessness is actually the outcome of the purity of Sila. So blamelessness is also said to be the function of Sila. So the Pali word rasa has two meanings: function or action and achievement. And its manifestation. Now virtue, so say those who know itself as purity will show. And for proximate cause we tell the pair, conscience and shame as well. Now, the manifestation of Sila is just purity. When we concentrate on Sila, it appears to us as purity. So Sila is real purity. So purity is the manifestation of Sila, virtue. And its proximate cause is conscience and shame. Its proximate cause is shame, actually shame and fear. Is shame to do wrong things, shame to do unwholesome things, and fear to do unwholesome things, because if we do unwholesome things, if your moral conduct is not pure, we will get bad results. So this shame and fear, these two are called the proximate cause of Sila. So long as people have this conscience and shame, or shame and fear, people will keep precepts. And the moment these two leave people, then people will do anything they like. There are two kinds of causes: a near cause and far cause. So it is near cause. That's right. Yeah. Okay. We've got only 9 pages. So next week, I don't know how you can get a copy of this book. Can you make copies?
Yeah, especially if you have some pages.
Yeah, so that they can read before they come to the class.
Downstairs, in the reading room, there's at least one copy here. I see that there are 2 copies on the room. Xerox.
Yes. So please read about 20 or 30 pages for next week. And after you read and you come to the class and we can discuss. So,
didn't mention very much of the role of the Vissudhimagga was in studying in other countries, but I've heard that you want to practice Buddhism more before you need two things. You need a cave and a copy of this book.
that's right. Yes. It's held in very high esteem in Theravada countries. It's next to the Buddha, actually. And this is the Burmese edition of the book in Pali. This is the first volume of the book. Yes. This time, there is not many questions.
Hard to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, okay. The first two chapters you have to be patient with, because it deals with the practice. I mean, the rules for monks and practices for monks. But we can adapt some of the statements in this chapter and the next chapter to Sila for lay people. So monks are exhorted to be very strict in keeping their rules. They not to have broken even a small rule. And it is said later on we will find that seeing danger in the smallest transgression or something. So in the same way, if you are going to practice meditation, then you have to clear the basis. You have to establish a firm foundation of moral purity first. That means, as a lay person, you take precepts, at least 5 precepts, and keep them. So you are not to break any one of these rules. You are to keep them intact, and you may be exhorted not to break any of these rules, even though your life is in danger or something like that. So we can adapt the admonition or the advice given in this chapter to the practice of lay people too. But this chapter deals with monk behavior, monk sila, and I'm afraid you will find many improper contacts and resort mentioned here. So you know how monks are clever in acquiring things for them, and clever in not direct lie, but something like what do you call that? Yeah? Something like white lie or something. So, and one thing, what about these commentaries is they give many stories. So we can learn from these stories. So from the third chapter onward, it's for those who practice meditation, whether you are a lay person or a monk. Although the emphasis is on the monks, because monks are those who practice meditation more than lay people. But it is no longer true. Lay people are also very interested in meditation now, especially in Burma. About the turn of the century, monks became interested in the practice of vipassana meditation, and also give chance to lay people to practice vipassana meditation. Formerly, lay people did not think that they could practice much meditation, because they had things to do in the world, and even even though you are a monk, if you want to practice meditation, then they think you have to go to a very secluded place and sit there alone and practice meditation. But the teacher of my teacher, Mahasi Sila, the teacher of Mahasi Sila, was one of the pioneers of the rekindling of interest in the practice of meditation, both by monks and lay people. And I think he was the first who taught meditation to lay people and who accepted the lay people to come to the monastery and practice intensive meditation like we do now. His personal name was Unarada, but he was known as Mingun Hidugon Sayara. His name was mentioned in Nyanaponika's book, The Heart of Buddhist Meditation. So now, many lay people practice Vipassana meditation in Burma, and also in this country now people are very interested in meditation. So I think this is a good sign of a good trend Buddhism is going towards. Because after all, practice is what counts. Just understanding or just knowing theoretically will not help us much. We have to put this theoretical knowledge to practice. And the study and practice, I think, should go together. Just practice, study will not help us much. And something you see through the practice of meditation helps you to understand, to have deeper understanding of what you know from books. So these two should go together, practice and meditation. Go back to the structure of the first chapter. I mean, the detailed contents, table of contents of the first chapter on the handout. So this chapter deals with what is translated as virtue, or in Pali it is Sila. So the first thing mentioned there is a stanza from the Samyutta Nikaya as an introductory talk. And then the author explains what the path of purification is, and along with the commentary on the stanza quoted at the beginning of the book. And then the author goes on to explain Sila or virtue. What is Sila? What is virtue? And then he explained that volition is virtue, mental factors are virtue, restraint is virtue, and non-transgression is virtue. And this he explained according to a text called Vissudhimagga. And in connection with restraint, the author explained 5 kinds of restraint, and they are given in paragraph 18. Then after explaining what virtue is, what is taken to be virtue according to the teachings of Theravada, the author goes on to explain the meaning of the word Sila in Pali. Why it is called Sila, why virtue is called Sila in Pali, and the explanation given is it is called Sila because it coordinates the bodily and verbal action, and also it serves as a foundation for the acquisition of wholesome states. So the 2 basic meanings of the word are given there. The one is coordinating, and the other is the basis of holding up. And then the other gives the characteristic, function, manifestation, and the proximate cause of Sila or virtue. It is customary with Theravada authors that whenever there is something to be studied or to be understood, they explain that thing to be understood with reference to its characteristic, its function, its manifestation, and its proximate cause. So in Abhidhamma also, everything, the Chaita and 52 Chaitasikas, each of them, are explained with reference to characteristic and so on. So the characteristics and others of Sila or virtue are given in paragraphs 20 to 22. And next, the author gives the benefits of virtue, benefits of having pure virtue or pure Sila. And then he describes the different kinds of virtue which takes up the rest of the first chapter. And we reached to the end of characteristic and so on last week. So this week we will begin with the benefits of virtue, paragraphs 23, 24 and so on. And this paragraph gives us quotations from the sutras. First from Anguttara Nikaya. Do you see the words A, 5, and 1? So A means Anguttara Nikaya. It's the name of one of the 5 collections. The translation of it is called Gradual Saying. And there are 5 volumes of them. And the copies are in the library here. And then further down towards the bottom you see D286. And D means Digha Nikaya. This is another collection. And the translation of this Nikaya is called Dialogues of the Buddha. There are 3 volumes. And then a little down you see M133. M means Majjhima Nikaya, another division of sutras. And the translation of this Nikaya is called Middle Length Sayings. I hope you have read all these. These are the benefits of virtue. And then on the next page, beginning with furthermore, the author gives the same benefits of virtue in verse form. And towards the bottom, about 6 lines from the bottom of the verses, there is a saying, with dread of self-blame and the like. So virtue entirely does away with dread of self-blame and the like. Now, self-blame and the like. What are the others? The benefits of being virtuous, or benefits of having pure or good Sila, as these are 4. And the dangers of being unvirtuous or dangers of having bad Sila are also 4. So these 4 are first self-blame or self-reproach. That is the first. So when our moral conduct is impure, the first blame comes from ourselves because we only know what we did. So the first there is self-reproach or self-blame. and then the blame of others or reproach of others. So if we do not keep our rules properly, if we break our precepts, then other people will also blame us. So there is the danger of blame of others or others' reproach. And the third disadvantage is punishment. If we are, if we do not keep precepts, then we may commit crimes. We may kill beings, or we may kill human beings. We may steal and so on. And as a result of this, we will get punishment in this life. So punishment is another danger of being impure moral conduct. And the last one is the unhappy destiny. That means rebirth in the four woeful states or four states of loss. Rebirth in hell, rebirth in animal kingdom, rebirth as hungry ghost, and rebirth as another kind of ghost. So these are the four disadvantages of being impure in moral conduct, and the opposite of them are the four benefits. So virtue entirely does away with dread of self-blaming. Virtue entirely does away with the danger of these four, namely self-reproach, others reproach, punishment, and unhappy destiny. And then the other gives kinds of virtue. Western